Happy Sabbath! Happy Sabbath! Happy Sabbath to the 12 tribes of Israel scattered abroad across this great earth of the Most High. Thank you guys for joining in today for yet another fire lesson in the book of Genesis. First off, I want to thank the Most High Yah for getting us to another Sabbath day. All praises and great glory in His Son. Father, I ask that you give me the wisdom, the knowledge, and the understanding to preach this word today. Put the Spirit upon me to get this understanding of this very, very powerful chapter into the ears and minds of our people. All praises and great glory. For family, I hope you like the song. I call it Scattered but Not Forgotten because that's exactly our state today. We are scattered across the four corners, but we are not forgotten by the Most High Yah. So keep your hope up. I know things look bleak out here in the world. This Babylonian system got us tied down, pinned down. But family, retribution is coming. All you gotta do is keep the faith. So we're gonna be doing Genesis 30 for today. Very powerful chapter, as I said. So let's just get straight into it, because there's a lot of meat in here, and I want to be able to cover it all. So we're going to start off reading Genesis 34. We're going to read 1 through 4 to start things off. And it reads, And Dinah, the daughter of Leah, which she bare unto Jacob, went out to see the daughters of the land. And when Shechem, the son of Hamor, the Hivite, prince of the country, saw her, he took her and lay with her and defiled her. And his soul clave unto Dinah, the daughter of Jacob. And he loved the damsel and spake kindly unto the damsel. And Shechem spake unto his father Hamor, saying, Get me this damsel to wife. Now listen the hell up, Israel, because this is crazy. This first verse might seem like it's nothing, but you need to pay attention, because this is the setup for everything that happens next. Dinah, the daughter of Leah, decides she wants to go out and see the daughters of the land. Let me modernize this for y'all today. Dinah is a young Israelite woman born into the chosen family, Jacob's family, the forefather of the 12 tribes of Israel. But what does she do, family? She goes out into the world to what? Mingle with the damn heathens. The other nations, the same damn people that don't care or know about the Most High or His commandments. This is the first warning for you Israelites. Stop trying to be like these other nations out there. Some of y'all are so damn curious about what's out there in this wicked ass world that you go running into the arms of destruction. Dinah didn't go out to do anything wicked. At least that's not what the Bible says. But what the hell was she doing? She had no business going into the land of the heathens to see the daughters. What does the Bible say about us mingling with the nations, family? Deuteronomy 7, 3 and 4, a very infamous verse in our community. Neither shalt thou make marriages with them. Thy daughters thou shalt not give unto a son, nor his daughter shalt thou take unto thy son. For they will turn away thy son from following me, that they may serve other gods. So will the anger of the Lord be kindled against you and destroyed thee suddenly. You see that she was destroyed, family. Destroyed. The Most High warned us not to get too close with these other nations because they will corrupt us. Dinah didn't go out to marry anyone, but the principle is the same. When you start mingling with the nations, you expose yourself to their wickedness. Some of y'all out here partying with them, dating them, acting like them, and then wondering why your life is in shambles. Some of you sisters are just like Dinah today. You grew up in righteous households where you were taught the commandments. But as soon as you got a little freedom, you're out here twerking in the club with the heathens, dressing like them and chasing after they men. Don't tell me y'all ain't doing that today. I see it all over social media. I see it all over social media. Plastered, ass everywhere. And then when something bad happens, You want to cry and ask, why me? I see y'all crying now. Y'all crying now. Y'all on social media crying now after them heathen men used you, abused you, and threw you away like garbage. Oh yeah, now you're crying. What was that energy when we was warning you not to go over there? Let me tell you why, family. Let me tell you why you cry. Because you stepped out of the covering of the Most High and put yourself in danger. So the Most High is telling you, stop trying to be like these wicked ass nations and start walking in what? Righteousness, family. Righteousness. Look at verse 2 here. Here's the consequences of Dinah's curiosity. Shechem, the son of Hamor, a damn heathen prince, saw her, took her, and defiled her. Let's not sugarcoat this. Shechem raped her, family. This is what happens when you step outside the covering of the Most High. When you leave the fold of Israel and go wandering into the heathen's world, you make yourself vulnerable to what? Their wickedness. Shechem didn't love Dinah. He lusted after her, just like these heathen men lust after you Israelite women. Y'all get online. Oh, I got all these DMs from these white men and these Arab men and all these other nations and whatnot. Look at me. Look at me. Black girls, y'all loved out there. Don't forget it. Black girls, y'all love you don't got to worry about these dusty ass black men. You know what y'all saying online? Look what Shechem did. Raped her. Where's the love in there? No love in that. And that's exactly what these heathen men are doing to y'all today. He saw her as an object to satisfy his desires. And he took her by force. Let that marinate for a second. Saw her as an object to satisfy his desires. You an object, Israelite woman, to these other men. They hear about your exploits from their people. Oh, man, Keisha, man, she know how to put it down on you, boy. Hey, man, Keisha, woo! I ain't never had this from Becky over here. But Keisha, oh, my good, boy, she turned me out. The heathens. That's what they talk about. That's how they talk about y'all to their friends. And they friends are like, hey, she got any friends? You got any cousins? Somebody? Hey, I want to experience it too. You guys are a roller coaster. A brand new roller coaster. You guys are an experience. That's it. Once the ride's over, they move on. That's the reality of the situation, family. No sugarcoating. Y'all know me. I don't sugarcoat nothing. But that's how it is. You guys are bubblegum. Once they get all that taste and sweetness out of the bubblegum, spit you right in the garbage. That's what happens when you leave the covering of the Most High. This is a hard truth, Israel. But let me break it down for you. When you step outside the commandments, you open yourself up to being defiled by this heathen world, this wicked system. The heathen nations don't give a damn about you. They see you as a prize to conquer, an object to use, and a commodity to exploit. That's men and women. Men, you ain't exempt from this. Yeah, I see y'all chasing after Esmeralda, Maria, Chang Chong Chung. I see y'all chasing after them. Y'all think it's any different from y'all? They hear exploits about y'all. Oh, Tyrone, woo, boy, he got a big thing. Big old thing down there. Ooh, boy, y'all got to experience it. Just an object to satisfy their lusts. And then when they done with your Tyrone, they go and marry their own people. Now you're licking your wounds online, crying. Damn, I mean, I should have listened to y'all. Those are the lessons that the Most High teaches to his people. That's the chastening, family. Dinah's defilement is a warning to all Israelites, especially you sisters, to stay the hell away from these heathens. Solomon has some wisdom for you. Proverbs 4:14 and 15. Look at this. Enter not into the path of the wicked, and go not into the way of evil men. Avoid it. Pass not by it. Turn from it and pass away. Dinah entered into the path of the wicked by going to the land of the heathens, and look what happened. She was defiled. This is why the Most High tells us to stay away from them. There's nothing out there for you, family, but pain, defilement, and destruction. Let's be real. The same thing is happening today. Some of y'all sisters out here chasing after the wrong men. Men who don't follow the Most High. Men who don't give a damn about your worth as an Israelite woman. And then when they use you, abuse you, and leave you broken, you wonder how you got there. Let Dinah's story be a wake-up call. Stop stepping out of the protection of the Most High and putting yourself at the mercy of these wicked men. The world doesn't love you, black people. It hates you. Stay in the fold or you're going to end up just like Dinah. Defiled and what? Broken. Verse 3. Now let me make this clear here. Shechem didn't love Dinah, family. The hell kind of love comes after you defile someone. This ain't love. It's lust masquerading as affection. That's the soul tie, family. You see, soul clave. That's your first soul tie reference here. Them soul ties are real, family. But it's lust. It's not love. This is why the Most High tells you not to fornicate. Because this is what happens. Now you are tied to this heathen, to this wicked man or wicked woman. Now you tied. And especially don't even have a baby by it. Now you're fucked. Whoopsie daisy. He spake kindly to her because he knew he had done wrong. It was trying to cover his tracks. This is what these wicked men do, family. They take what they want, defile you, and then come back talking sweet, trying to convince you that they care. Shechem's soul clave to Dinah, but it wasn't because he loved her. It was because he was obsessed with possessing her. That's what the heathen do. Family, they want to possess you. You are an object. That's what slavery was about. Possessing another person. Don't get it twisted, family. The world don't love you. Just like Shechem didn't really love Dinah, this wicked ass world don't give a damn about you. The nations will use you, abuse you, and then try to convince you that it was all out of love. But what does the Bible say about real love? 1 John 5 and 3. For this is the love of God, that we what? Keep his commandments. Say it again. Keep his commandments. One more time for the ones in the back. Keep his commandments. And his commandments are what? Not grievous. Shechem didn't love Dinah because he damn sure wasn't keeping the commandments. We know that. Real love, family, is rooted in obedience to the Most High. And anything else is just wickedness dressed up as affection. Don't let the world deceive you into thinking that lust and obsession are the same as love, family. Because that's exactly what they're doing now with these dating apps and social media and everything. It's all lust. Thirst traps all over the place. Ass everywhere. But that ain't love, family. That's lust. That's all lust. It's not real. It's fake. It's temporary. How many of you sisters have fallen for the sweet words of a man who didn't mean a damn thing he said? That goes for heathen men and Israelite men. Because a lot of y'all Israelite sisters, y'all keep going after the same wicked ass Israelite men too. Pookies and Ray Rays and Tyrones. Your Kwans out there. Yes, y'all keep going after them same dudes. Sweet words they say. They don't mean a damn thing they say though. He told you he loved you. But all he wanted was to use you. And after he got what he wanted, he left you broken and confused. This is what happens when you stray from the Most High's commandments and let the world define what love is. Stop letting these wicked men deceive you with their lies and start looking for the kind of love that is rooted in the Most High's laws, family. Verse 4. Now look at this shit right here. Shechem, after defiling Dinah, has the audacity to go to his father and demand that he get her as a wife. You hear that? This is a perfect example of how these heathens operate. They'll violate you and then try to claim you as their own. Like they done you a damn favor, family. Shechem didn't see Dinah as a person. He saw her as something to possess, and now he's trying to make it official through marriage. Y'all see this, man? Y'all see this? Please tell me I'm the only one. Please tell me I'm not the only one who sees this. This right here, family, is why the Most High tells us to stay with our own people. People call it, oh no, you're racist. Oh no, you're racist. You're racist. Love is love. But we see what love is now. Obedience to the Most High. And the obedience is that the Most High made us a holy nation, separate from all the other nations. So how can they call it racist, family? Because that's what true love is. Staying with your own. Not mixing with these other people, no matter what they say. That's what it means, family. To love the Most High. It's to follow his commandments. And his commandments say to stay away from who? Them. They don't have your best interest in heart, no matter what they say. No matter what they say, family. This is why the Most High warned us not to intermarry with the nations. The heathens don't understand the sanctity of marriage or the value of an Israelite woman. To them, you're just a prize to be won, a possession to be claimed. Boy, does the Bible say about the sanctity of marriage. Hebrews 13:4. Marriage is honorable in all, in the bed undefiled. But whoremongers and adulterers, God will judge. Shechem didn't honor Dinah or her family. He defiled her and then tried to cover up his sin by marrying her. This is what happens when you step outside the commandments and get involved with people who don't know or care about the Most High. Do not fall for the legitimization of their wickedness, family. They want you to accept their violation, embrace their system, forget the original crime. Just like Shechem, thinking he could make everything right by marrying Dinah after he defiled her. This is the same spirit when they destroy black businesses, then offer small business loans. Gentrify our neighborhoods, then offer affordable housing. Break up our families, then offer government assistance. Y'all see the same system? Same thing that happened out there. This is a spiritual lesson, family. The same spirit that is working and operating in full 100% capacity today. They violate first, then try to make it legal after the fact. But the Most High ain't fooled, family. And we better not be either. So let's move to the next section. 5 through 12. 5 through 12 this time, family. 5 through 12. Genesis 34. And Jacob heard that he had defiled Dinah, his daughter. Now his sons were with his cattle in the field, and Jacob held his peace until they will come. That's important. And Hamor, the father of Shechem, went out unto Jacob to commune with him. And the sons of Jacob came out of the field when they heard it. And the men were grieved, and they were very wroth, because he had wrought folly in Israel in line with Jacob's daughter, which thing ought not to be done. And Hamor communed with them, saying, the soul of my son Shechem longeth for your daughter. I pray you give her to him to wife, and make ye marriages with us, and give your daughters unto us, and take our daughters unto you. And ye shall dwell with us, and the land shall be before you. Dwell and trade ye therein, and get you possessions therein. And Shechem said unto her father, and unto her brethren, let me find grace in your eyes. And what ye shall say unto me, I will give. Ask me never so much dowry and gift, and I will give according as ye shall say unto me. Give me the damsel to wife. Boy, y'all see the arrogance. Verse 5, though. Let's get into this. Jacob, our forefather, righteous man, finds out that his daughter Dinah has been defiled. Raped, family. The word alone should make you tremble, Israel, because it means that the sanctity of one of our daughters, one of our women, was ripped away by a heathen. And yet, Jacob doesn't immediately react. He hears about the disgrace, but he waits for his sons to return. What's the lesson? This shows us the restraint and wisdom of Jacob here. He doesn't act out of impulse like most of our people do, even though the pain of hearing about Dinah's defilement must have been unbearable. Some of y'all lack this restraint today. The moment you hear something, you're ready to go flying off the handle without a plan, without wisdom. But Jacob, a man of faith, in order, held his peace, not because he didn't care, family, but because he understood the need for what? Strategy before taking action. Sometimes, Israel, so-called black people, you need to hold your peace and think things through first. This doesn't mean you are weak. It means you are smart. But don't get it twisted, though. Holding your peace doesn't mean letting wickedness slide. Jacob wasn't ignoring what happened, family. He was preparing for the right moment to address it. As Solomon tells us, Ecclesiastes 3:1, to everything there is a season and a time to every purpose under the heaven. You see that? There's a time to wait and a time to act. Jacob knew this, and that's why he didn't rush into a confrontation. Some of y'all need to learn this lesson. Stop reacting to every slight or insult like a damn fool and start operating with wisdom and strategy. Y'all ready to go kill somebody? Think it through. Imagine you're at work. Give you a modern example. Imagine you're at work. Someone disrespects you, right? Or your family. What's your first instinct? Most of y'all are ready to throw hands, scream, or act wild. But Jacob teaches us a lesson here. Sometimes you have to hold your peace and wait for the right moment to act. This doesn't mean you are letting it slide. It means you are gathering your strength, your facts, and your people so you can handle the situation the right way. And 2025, that's what we in Gregorian time. We all know the new year don't start until spring. But for these purposes, 2025, this year, we need more of this kind of wisdom in our community. Stop acting impulsively and start thinking like Jacob with strategy and precision. Because look at what Solomon says in Proverbs 16:32. He that is slow to anger is better than the mighty. And he that ruleth his spirit, that means controlling yourself, than he that taketh the city. You see that? Controlling your anger in your spirit is a sign of strength, not weakness. When you act out of impulse, you lose control and give the enemy the upper hand. But when you move with wisdom, like Jacob, you put yourself in a position to deal with the situation on your terms. Learn this, Israel. Verse 6. Now here comes Hamor, the father of Shechem, trying to commune with Jacob. Communicate, negotiate. Are you kidding me, family? His son just raped Jacob's daughter, and now he wants to come and have a sit-down conversation? What y'all Israelite women say? The audacity. This right here shows you how these heathens operate. They commit the most vile acts against us and then try to smooth it over with talk. They think they can negotiate peace after committing atrocities against the people of the Most High. Israel, pay attention to this because it still happens today. The nations do wickedness against us, enslave us, rob us, kill us, and then they want to come to the table and work things out. They don't want justice, family. They want to avoid consequences. Hamor wasn't there to make things right. He was there to protect his son and secure a deal for himself. This is the mindset of the heathen. Self-preservation at all costs. Throw everything under the rug. That's what they doing, family. They commit all these atrocities, these companies, and they throw it on the rug. They settle out of court. That's what they do. Psalm 55 and 21. The words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. These are your heathen. His words were softer than oil, yet were they drawn swords. You see that? Hamor came with smooth words, but his intentions weren't pure. He wasn't truly sorry for what happened to Dinah. He was just trying to cover up his son's wickedness. This is a warning to you, Israel. Don't trust the smooth words of the enemy. They smile in your face while plotting your destruction behind your back. Tell me this doesn't sound familiar. The same systems that oppress us today, police brutality, mass incarceration, economic exploitation. They do their evil and then they come with smooth words trying to negotiate. They hold press conferences, issue fake apologies, and promise reform. But it's all bullshit, family. Just like Hamor, they're only interested in protecting themselves and their own people. Stop falling for the smooth words of the enemy. Wake up and realize that their so-called peace talks are just a way to avoid consequences for their wickedness. Look what Isaiah has to say. Isaiah 30, 12 and 13. Wherefore thus saith the Holy One of Israel, because he despised this word, and trust in oppression and perverseness, and stayed thereon, therefore this iniquity shall be to you as a breach ready to fall, swelling out in a high wall, whose breaking cometh suddenly at an instant. You see what Isaiah said? When you trust in the smooth words of the oppressor, you're setting yourself up for what? Destruction. Hamor's attempt to commune with Jacob was nothing more than damage control. And you need to recognize when the same thing is happening today. Nations don't want justice, family. They want to avoid the consequences. Don't fall for it. And look at this, verse 7. Now this is where the heat starts, family. Jacob's sons find out what happened. They're grieved, heartbroken, angry, filled with righteous fury. And why? Because Shechem had committed a folly in Israel. Understand this. Shechem's act wasn't just a personal attack on Dinah. It was an attack on the entire nation of Israel. When you touch one of us, you touch all of us. This reminds us that we are a family, a nation, a body. When you hurt one of us, it affects all of us. Some of y'all have forgotten this. You see your brothers and sisters suffering, and you turn a blind eye because it doesn't concern you. But that's not how Israel operates. When Shechem defiled Dinah, he brought shame and wickedness into the entire nation. And Jacob's sons understood this. They knew that this wasn't just about Dinah, but about the sanctity and honor of Israel as a whole. Look what Paul says in 1 Corinthians 12 and 26. And whether one member suffer, all the members suffer with it. Or one member be honored, all the members rejoice with it. When one of us suffers, family, we all suffer. This is the mindset Jacob's sons had. And it's the mindset you need to have today. Stop thinking you're an island unto yourself and start caring about your brothers and sisters. When the nations attack one of us, they're attacking all of us. And we need to respond as a nation, not as individuals. How many of you see the injustices happening to our people? Police shootings, systematic racism, exploitation, and shrug it off because it didn't happen to you or your family. Wake up! If you're part of Israel, you're a so-called Negro, whether you here in this country or in another country where we scattered to, then every attack on our people is an attack on you. Stop acting like you are separate from the body and start standing up for your nation. Jacob's sons were grieved and wroth because they understood this principle. Do you? Proverbs 31, 8 and 9. Look what Solomon has to say. Open thy mouth for the dumb in the cause of all, such as are appointed to destruction. Open thy mouth, judge righteously, and plead the cause of the poor and needy. It's your responsibility, family, to stand up for your people, to grieve when they suffer, and to fight for their honor. Jacob's sons understood this, and so should you. It's time to wake up and start acting like the nation you were called to be. Now look at verse 8 here. This is some shit right here, ain't it? Ain't this some shit right here? Look at him. Hamor. This man has the nerve, the audacity, the unmitigated gall to come to Jacob and sons and try to justify what his son Shechem did by calling it love. He said Shechem's soul longeth for Dinah, as if that excuses the fact that his son raped her. Do you see how these heathens operate? They commit the most wicked acts against us and then try to cloak it in something noble. Hamor wasn't sorry. There was no apology, no repentance, just boldness and arrogance, trying to play clean up for his son's disgusting actions. This is how the heathens try to manipulate you, black people. They want you to believe that their wickedness is somehow justified. They want you to think that their atrocities against you are rooted in something good. But don't be deceived. This is the same tactic they've been using against us for centuries, millennia. When they enslaved us, they said it was because they were saving us. When they colonized our lands and destroyed our people, they said it was for progress or civilization. Same script, different actors. Proverbs 26:25. When he speaketh fair, believe him not, for there are 7 abominations in his heart. Hamor's words might have sounded smooth, but they were full of wickedness. He wasn't coming to make things right, family. He was coming to protect his son and secure something for himself. Don't fall for the fair words of the enemy, family. They'll try to dress up their wickedness with smooth talk, but behind it all is nothing but abominations. This is no different than the excuses that we hear today. When these nations exploit us, harm us, and destroy us, they always have some twisted justification. They'll kill an unarmed brother or sister and then say it was for self-defense. They'll flood our neighborhoods with drugs and guns and then say it's because we are prone to violence. And just like Hamor, they'll come to the table acting like they're doing us a favor when all they're doing is trying to protect themselves. Israel, black people, worldwide, wake up and stop falling for the lies of the heathen. Isaiah 5:23. Which justify the wicked for reward and take away the righteousness of the righteous from him. You see that? These heathens justify their wickedness and twist the truth to suit their own agenda. Hamor couldn't care less about Dinah or Jacob's family. His only concern was making the problem disappear for his son. Don't let the world manipulate you with smooth words, family. Stand firm in the truth and recognize the tactics of these heathens. Once you do that, you will never fall for the okadoke. Verse 9. Now they talk about making marriages. Here comes the real agenda. Hamor wasn't just there to talk about Shechem and Dinah. He was there to push integration. He wanted Jacob and his family to intermarry with the heathens. Do you hear what he's asking? He's saying, let's merge our people together. You give us your daughters and we'll give you ours. But family, let me make this clear. The Most High never, I repeat, never wanted us to mix with the nations. Hamor's suggestion was nothing but a plot to dilute and destroy Israel's identity as the chosen people. This is why the Most High gave us strict laws against intermarriage with the other nations. It's not about hate, like they say. It's about preserving the sanctity and purity of our people, of our covenant. When we mix with the nations, we take on their ways, their gods, their customs, and their wickedness like we doing today. The goal of the nations was always to assimilate us, to strip us of our identity, and to make us forget who we are as a chosen people. But the Most High tells us in Deuteronomy 7:6, for thou art a holy people unto the Lord thy God. The Lord thy God hath chosen thee, that's you black people, to be a special people unto himself, above all people that are upon the face of the earth. Did you hear that, family? The Most High set us apart from these nations. We're not supposed to be mingling with them, marrying with them, or adopting their ways. Hamar's proposal was a direct attack on Israel's identity and holiness. Mixing with the nations has always been a strategy to weaken us, and it's still happening today. How many of you Israelites out there marrying these heathens today? You think love is love, right? Wrong. When you marry these other nations, you're not just joining with them. You're adopting their ways, their culture, and their wickedness. Look at our people today. So many of us have forgotten who we are because we have been diluted through mixing, through trying to fit in with the world. Hamar's proposal wasn't about unity. It was about assimilation. And the same thing is happening today with this push for diversity and inclusion. Don't fall for it, family. Ezra 9:2. For they have taken of their daughters for themselves and for their sons, so that the holy seed have mingled themselves with the people of those lands. Yea, the hand of the princes and rulers hath been chief in this trespass. Mixing with the other nations corrupts the holy seed. Hamar's suggestion wasn't just disrespectful, family. It was a direct attack on the holiness of Israel. And if you're out there marrying and mixing with the nations, you are doing the same thing, corrupting the holy seed that the Most High set apart. Verse 10 here. Now here comes the bribe. Hamor trying to sweeten the deal by offering Jacob and his family a piece of the land. He's saying, you can live with us, trade with us, and gain wealth here. But Israel, let me tell you something. Everything that glitters ain't gold. Hamor was offering material wealth and security, but the price would have been Israel's identity and obedience to the Most High. Is that a price you are willing to pay? You gonna sell your soul to the heathen, Israel? That's what's being asked here. That's what our Israelite celebrities have to go through. They trade their identity for material wealth. They dangle this wealth, this success, and opportunity in front of us to get us to compromise our values and our identity. But what does the Bible say about gaining the world and losing your soul? Mark 8:36. For what shall it profit a man if he shall gain the whole world and lose his only soul? Hamar's offer was a test. Would Jacob's family give up their separation, their identity as a chosen people, for the sake of material gain? This is the same test you are facing today. The world is constantly offering you wealth, fame, and success, but at what cost? Don't sell your birthright for a bowl of stew, family. Don't trade your holiness for a few damn trinkets. Look around you. How many of our people have sold out for a paycheck, a promotion, or a spot in the spotlight? They're all over. How many of us have abandoned the commandments of the Most High for the sake of chasing the American dream? Hamar's offer is alive and well today, family, and too many of y'all are falling for the okadoke. You're chasing wealth, status, and possessions, but you're losing your identity as Israelites in the process. You will never be one of the heathen. Remember that. No matter how much you dress like them, no matter how much of the possessions you have of theirs, no matter how big your house is, how much money in your bank account, they will never, ever, 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 ever accept you at their round table. Ever! Proverbs 23:4-5. Labor not to be rich. Cease from thine own wisdom. Wilt thou set thine eyes upon that which is not? For riches certainly make themselves wings. They fly away as an eagle toward heaven. You see that? Wealth is temporary, but your identity as an Israelite is eternal. Don't let the world bribe you into giving up your heritage, family. Hamar's offer was a trap, and the same traps are being set for you today. Stay vigilant, family, and don't fall for the lies of the enemy, verse 11. Right as heathen getting bold as hell. After defiling Dinah, now Shechem himself starts begging to find grace in Jacob's eyes. Do y'all see the arrogance? He's not asking for forgiveness or showing any real repentance. He's basically saying, hey, name your price, I'll pay it. Like Dinah is some damn object he can buy back to make things right. This is manipulation at its finest. Shechem thinks he can fix the damage. He caused by throwing some money or favors at Jacob and his sons. Wrong. This is a lesson that you need to learn, family. You can't be bought, and righteousness can't be negotiated. When someone disrespects you, your family, or your people, don't let them think they can smooth things over with material goods or empty promises. Shechem wasn't truly sorry for what he did. He was trying to avoid the consequences of his actions. And this is what the world does to us, Israel. They commit atrocities against us and then try to throw us a few crumbs to pacify us, thinking we'll forget the pain and trauma they caused. Solomon tells us in Ecclesiastes 7:7, surely oppression maketh a wise man mad, and a gift destroyeth the heart. These heathens will try to gift you into submission, but a wise man, an Israelite with understanding, doesn't fall for that. Shechem's offer wasn't about making things right. It was about manipulation. And we as a people need to stop letting the enemy buy our silence and submission with their false offerings. This is no different than what's happening today. These nations oppress us, exploit us, and destroy us. And then they turn around and offer grace in the form of symbolic gestures and empty reparations. They rename streets. You see it on Martin Luther King boulevards all over the world, all over this country. We'll apologize for slavery, but are they truly sorry? Or give us diversity hires in their corporations. They chocolate chip you all over their corporations. To get you to shut up. See, we hire your people. We're not racist. Manipulation, family. Thinking that's enough to make us forget the centuries of damage they've done. Wake the hell up, family. Shechem's plea is the same thing you see today. Stop letting these nations buy your silence with promises of grace or equality. They're not sorry. They're just trying to protect their own interests, just like Shechem was. And if you fall for it, you will stay oppressed and ignorant of the bigger picture. Solomon gives us more wisdom in Proverbs 14:15. The simple, I repeat, the simple, believeth every word, but the prudent man looketh well to his going. Don't be simple, Israel. Don't believe the smooth words and false promises of your oppressors. Shechem wasn't interested in justice. He was interested in protecting himself. And the same thing is happening to you right now. Verse 12. Now this shit gets just more insulting, family. More insulting. Shechem is doubling down here, saying he'll pay whatever Jacob and his sons ask, as long as they let him have Dinah as his wife. You see it? More audacity. This man defiled Dinah, raped her, and now he thinks he can buy her like a commodity. There's no remorse. No accountability. Just a transactional mindset that reduces Dinah to a price tag. Israel, you are not for sale. Your daughters, your sons, your identity, your heritage, none of it is something that can be bought or sold. Shechem's offer is a reflection of how the nations see us, as something to be acquired, something they can possess if they throw enough money at it. But the Most High made it clear that Israel is priceless. We are chosen, set apart, and not to be mingled with or exploited by the heathens. 1 Peter 2:9. But ye are a chosen generation, a royal priesthood, and holy nation, a peculiar people, that ye should shew forth the praises of him who hath called you out of darkness into his marvelous light. You see that? We're a royal priesthood, a holy nation, not some damn commodity to be bargained for. Shechem's wickedness wasn't just about what he did to Dinah. It was his complete disregard for Israel as the chosen people. And it's the same mindset the nations have toward us Today. How many of our sisters are treated just like Dinah today? How many? How many? The world sees you as a prize to be won, as something to be bought and something to be sold. These industries, music, beauty, fashion, they exploit your bodies, your talents, your image, and then throw you a paycheck like that makes it okay. And some of you are falling for it, thinking that money or fame makes up for the defilement. It doesn't. Stop letting the world pimp you out, black people. Your value isn't something that can be measured in dollars or gifts. Yahushua told us in Matthew 6:24, no man can serve two masters. For either he will hate the one and love the other, or else he will hold to the one and despise the other. Ye cannot serve God and mammon. The moment you start chasing money, success, or validation from the heathens, you lose sight of your true worth in the Most High's eyes. Shechem's offer was nothing but a bribe. And if Jacob's family had accepted it, they would have been selling out Dinah, and by extension, their entire nation. Don't sell out Israel. So let's move on to the next section. Verses 13 through 19. Back to Genesis 34, 13 through 19. I hope this is making sense for y'all. I hope you guys are getting everything that I'm telling you here. This is some big stuff. Stuff that is still going on. This book is living. Remember that. Nothing new under the sun, family. Same things are playing out. Open your spiritual eyes to understand and see this so you don't fall for the lies like our people doing today. 13. And the sons of Jacob answered Shechem and Hamor, his father, deceitfully, and said, because he had defiled Dinah their sister. And they said unto them, we cannot do this thing to give our sister to one that is uncircumcised, for that were a reproach unto us. But in this will we consent unto you, if ye will be as we be, that every male of you be circumcised. Then we will give our daughters unto you, and we will take your daughters to us, and we will dwell with you, and we will become one people. But if ye will not hearken unto us to be circumcised, then we will take our daughter, and we will be gone. And their words pleased Hamor and Shechem, Hamor's son. And the young man deferred not to do the thing, because he had delight in Jacob's daughter, and he was more honorable than all the house of his father. Now it's about to get real, family. Verse 13, Jacob's sons aren't playing around. They hear Shechem's weak-ass offer and respond deceitfully. Why deceitfully? Because they weren't about to let this wickedness slide. They were furious about what Shechem had done to their sister, and they were planning their revenge. This wasn't about negotiation. It was about justice. And sometimes, Israel, justice requires strategy. The sons of Jacob teach us something here. Don't let the wicked think they've won. They played along with Shechem and Hamor because they had a plan. This wasn't about forgiveness or compromise. It was about making sure Shechem paid for his wickedness. Some of y'all need to learn this lesson. When the enemy comes at you, you need to move with wisdom, strategy, and calculation, like I told you earlier. Don't let your emotions take over. Control them and use them to achieve justice. Like Solomon tells us in Proverbs 21:12. The righteous man wisely considereth the house of the wicked, but God overthroweth the wicked for their wickedness. A righteous man, family, doesn't just react. He considers, he plans, and he moves with purpose. Jacob's sons weren't reckless. They were strategic. And when you are dealing with the wickedness of this world, you need to do the same thing. Stop acting out of impulse and start moving with the wisdom. How many of you are letting your angers or emotions get the best of you when dealing with the enemy? Instead of being strategic, you lash out and end up playing right into their hands. Jacob's sons understood that to deal with Shechem's wickedness, they had to be calculated. This is the mindset we need here in 2025. Whether it's fighting for justice, reclaiming our identity, or dealing with oppression, We need to move like Jacob's sons with strategy and purpose. Yahushua told us in Matthew 10 and 16, behold, I send you forth as sheep in the midst of wolves. Be ye therefore wise as serpents and harmless as doves. The Most High calls us to be wise as serpents, family. That's what Jacob's sons were doing here. They were being wise, waiting for the right moment to strike. And when you're dealing with the wickedness of this world, you need to do the same thing. Stop reacting and start planning. Verse 14 here. Now look at the cunning here of Jacob's sons. They tell Shechem and Hamor that they can't give Dinah to someone who's uncircumcised because it would be a reproach to our people. Let me make this clear. They weren't saying this because they were genuinely considering Shechem's proposal. No, they were setting these heathens up. They were using circumcision, the covenant sign between us and the Most High, to lay a trap for these wicked men. This verse cuts deep, family, because Jacob's son understood that there were certain things that were sacred to us as a people, and one of those things was circumcision at that time. And today, spiritually circumcised at this moment. It was a mark of our covenant with the Most High, a sign that we were set apart from the nations. But notice how they weaponized it here. They took something holy and used it as a tactic to deal with their oppressors. This tells us sometimes you need to use the ignorance of the enemy, of your culture and laws against them. But let's dig it deeper. They called intermarriage with the uncircumcised a reproach. Why? Because Israel, as I told you, is holy, chosen, and set apart. Giving Dinah to a heathen, one who didn't even bear the sign of the covenant, would have been a disgrace to the entire nation. And yet today, so many of us are willingly mingling with the uncircumcised, spiritually and physically. We are holy, family. Exodus 19, 5 and 6. Now therefore, if ye will obey my voice indeed, and keep my covenant, then ye shall be a peculiar treasure unto me above all people, above. We better than them, family. For all the earth is mine, and ye shall be unto me a kingdom of priests and an holy nation. We are holy nation, family. Set apart from the rest of the world. We can't be mixing with these other nations, these heathens who don't know or follow the Most High. Jacob's sons understood this, and they called it what it was, a reproach. But some of y'all today are out here dishonoring Israel by embracing the very heathens the Most High told us to avoid. Let's be real, though. How many of us have traded our holiness for the approval of the uncircumcised world? You're out here dating, marrying, and mingling with those who don't even know the Most High, thinking it's no big deal. Sisters, you're laying down with men who don't care about your heritage, your laws, or your God. Brothers, you're chasing after heathen women who don't even respect your Israelite identity. And then you wonder why your relationships fall apart, why your children grow up confused, and why you feel disconnected from your purpose. Like Paul told us in 2 Corinthians 6 and 14, be ye not unequally yoked together with unbelievers. For what hath fellowship, hath righteousness with unrighteousness? And what communion hath light with darkness? What fellowship, Israel? What business do you have mixing with those who don't even walk in the light of the Most High's commandments? Jacob's sons understood that giving Dinah to Shechem would have been a disgrace, a reproach. But some of y'all out here acting and doing the very thing they were trying to avoid. Stop running after the uncircumcised world and reclaim your holiness, black people. 15. Here's the setup. Jacob's son laid down the condition. If Shechem and all his men of the city get circumcised, then they'll agree to let Dinah marry him. Now let's be real again. This wasn't about making a deal. Calculated move. Strategic plan to weaken the enemy. Circumcision was our sacred right, but Jacob's sons used it as a tool to bring judgment on Shechem and his people. This teaches us about wisdom and warfare, family. We need to learn to fight smart, not stupid. By asking the men of Shechem City to be circumcised, Jacob's sons here were symbolically demanding that they conform to Israel's ways. But here's the thing, family. The heathen can never, I repeat, never, ever, truly conform to the ways of Israel. They can go through the motions, but they don't have the heart, they don't have the spirit, or the covenant to truly walk in the ways of the Most High, family. They can cleave all they want to, but they can never, ever conform truly to our ways. They can never have that heart and spirit, because the Most High is the one who gives us that heart and that spirit, but he gives it only to his people. I don't care how many verses they recite, these heathen. They got churches and all kind of stuff. I don't care how many scriptures they know. They will never, ever truly be a part of us. Learn that lesson. Ezekiel 44:9. Thus said the Lord God, no stranger, uncircumcised in heart nor uncircumcised in flesh, shall enter into my sanctuary of any stranger that is among the children of Israel. You see that? Circumcision isn't just about the flesh, it's about the heart. The men of Shechem might have agreed to the physical act, but they could never truly be a part of Israel. And this is why we can't mix with the nations. Their hearts aren't set on the Most High. They don't belong to the covenant. And trying to bring them into it only leads to what? Disaster. Some of y'all out here trying to bring heathens into Israel through marriage, business partnerships, or friendships, thinking you can change them. Let me tell you something. You can't change the uncircumcised heart. They might go along with your customs on the surface, but their spirit isn't aligned with the Most High. Stop trying to force the nations into a covenant they were never a part of. Jeremiah 4:4. Circumcise yourself to the Lord, and take away the foreskins of your heart, ye men of Judah and inhabitants of Jerusalem. You see that? The real circumcision is of the heart, and only Israel, through obedience to the Most High, can achieve it. Only Israel. Please understand this part, family. Please get it. Because we got Israelites out there keep trying to teach heathen about us, our ways and whatever. They can't be a part of us. Stop trying to force it. They can follow our ways all they want to, but they can never truly be Israel. It's a waste of time. Stop trying to teach them about us. You're supposed to be about your people. When the Most High Son come back, that's when we're going to teach them. Until then, fuck them. They can imitate, but they'll never truly live it. And just like the men of Shechem, their attempts to conform will only lead to judgment. Verse 16. Now this is debate. Jacob's sons dangled the promise of unity in front of Shechem and his people. They say, if you do this, we'll give you our daughters, take your daughters, and we'll become one people. But understand, I tell you, this was never going to happen. Israel was never meant to become one people with the nations. From the very beginning, the Most High set us apart. And any attempt to merge with the heathens is a betrayal of that calling. This is the danger of compromise. Jacob's sons use this promise as a tactic, but too many of y'all today are making this same promise sincerely. You're out here trying to become one people with the world, thinking that unity with the heathens is the way forward. It's not. The Most High didn't call us to blend in with the nations. He called us to stand apart. Leviticus 20:26. And ye shall be holy unto me, for I, the Lord, am holy, and have severed you from other people, that ye should be mine. You see that? We've been severed, cut off, set apart from other people. There is no becoming one with them. The moment you start to merge with the nations, you're walking away from your identity. So you need to stop compromising your holiness for the sake of false Unity. Y'all celebrating their holidays, following their customs, and adopting their ways, thinking it's harmless. But every time you do that, you are betraying the covenant. The nations don't want to become one with you. They want to assimilate you, dilute you, and erase your identity as Israel. Stop chasing after their approval and start walking in your calling, as Paul tells us in Romans 12:2. And be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind, your heart, that ye may prove what is good and acceptable and perfect will of God. Don't conform to the world, family. You were never meant to become one with the nations. Stand apart, be holy, and let the world see the light of the Most High shining through who? You. 17. Now they landed out plain. They tell Shechem and Hamor, if you don't do this, we're taking Dinah. We out of here. Do y'all see the setup? They're giving the heathens a choice, making it seem like they have some agency in this situation. But the truth is, these heathens were already damned from the moment Shechem defiled Dinah. Jacob's sons weren't playing games. They were orchestrating their revenge. The circumcision demand was just a debate. Just a bait. That gave them enough rope to hang themselves. They didn't rush without a plan. They set the stage, played along, and waited for the right moment to strike, as we're going to see later. Too many of us today lack this wisdom. We let our emotions drive us into reckless decisions instead of moving with calculated precision. Proverbs 20:18, Solomon tells us, every purpose is established by counsel. And with good advice, make war. Before you go to war, whether it's spiritual, emotional, physical, you need a plan. The sons of Jacob didn't act out of impulse. They moved with that strategy. But let's not miss the bigger point here. They called Dinah our daughter. You see the unity in that family? It wasn't just about Jacob or Dinah. It was about the entire family, the entire nation. When one of us is wronged, all of us are wronged. This is the mindset we need to reclaim as a people today. Galatians 6:2. Bear ye one another's burdens, and so fulfill the law of Christ. When one of our brothers or sisters is hurt, we carry that burden together. Jacob's sons didn't leave Dinah to deal with this alone. They stepped up as a family, as a nation. And today, we need to do the same and stop turning a blind eye to the suffering of your people. Stand together, or we're going to fall apart. Verse 18. Here come the fools. Hamor and Shechem, so blinded by their lust and arrogance that they fall for the bait completely. Jacob's sons just laid out the trap. Laid it out. And these heathens are walking straight into it with smiles on their faces. Do you see how the enemy operates? They're so focused on what they want, they overlook the warning signs. Hung themselves. And that's what's going to happen. That's what's happening in this day. Shechem wasn't thinking about the consequence of his actions. He was thinking about his lust for Dinah. And Hamor, he was thinking about the political and economic benefits of joining with Jacob's families. Both of them operating in selfishness and wickedness. The wicked family are blinded by their own desires. They can't see the trap because they're too focused on what they want. This is why the Most High always has the upper hand. The nations plot and scheme against us, but their greed and arrogance make them blind to the judgment that's coming their way. And we see that judgment every day, family. Y'all saw that judgment on New Year's Day. Most High had that man, that Israelite man, and he was an Israelite. Ran them people over. Ran them over. They out there celebrating Janus, the pagan Roman god, for New Year's. Ran them over. Family. Killed 15 of them. Ran them straight over. Blind to the judgment. Too busy doing their own thing. Too busy celebrating their own pagan holidays. They couldn't see the judgment. Blind to it until it was too late. That's the judgment of the Most High. Psalm 37, 12 and 13. The wicked plotteth against the just, and gnasheth upon him with his teeth. The Lord shall laugh at him, for he seeth that his day is coming. The Most High family sees the ends of the wicked's plans before they even begin. Hamor and Shechem thought they were in control, but they were walking straight into their own destruction. And this is a reminder to us, family, trust in the Most High's plan. The wicked might seem like they're winning today, but their day is coming. Look around you. The world is full of Hamors and Shechems, people who think they can manipulate us, exploit us, and blend us into their wicked systems for their own gain. Politicians, corporations, social movements, Black Lives Matter. They all dangle promises of unity and progress in front of us. But it's all about what they want. And just like Hamor and Shechem, they're blind to the consequences of their actions. The judgment of the Most High is coming, and they don't even see it. Look at verse 19. Don't let this phrase fool you. He was more honorable than all the house of his father. Don't let that fool you. That doesn't mean Shechem was a good man, family. It just means he was slightly less wicked than the rest of them, which isn't saying much. He deferred not to do the thing because he was obsessed with Dinah. This wasn't about love or righteousness. This was about selfishness and lust. Shechem was driven by his own desires, and he was willing to do whatever it took to satisfy him. This verse, family, exposes the difference between true honor and the world's version of honor. Shechem's so-called honor was rooted in his willingness to what? Follow through on his lustful desires. But true honor is rooted in obedience to the Most High. Anything else is just wickedness in disguise. Proverbs 21 and 2, Solomon says, every way of man is right in his own eyes, but the Lord pondereth the hearts. You see, Shechem thought he was doing the right thing by agreeing to circumcision. But the Most High saw his heart, and his heart wasn't set on righteousness. It was set on fulfilling his own lust. This is a warning for you black people. Don't confuse selfish ambition for righteousness. The world will try to justify its wickedness with smooth words and false honor. But the Most High sees the truth. You've got these corrupt leaders out here, fake activists, false teachers out here, pretending to be righteous. But all they care about is satisfying their own desires. And sadly, some of y'all are falling for it. You follow these people because they sound good or look the part, but their hearts are far from the Most High. Far from the Most High, Yah. Isaiah 29:13. Wherefore the Lord said, for as much as this people draw near me with their mouth, and with their lips do honor me, but have removed their heart far from me, and their fear toward me is taught by the precept of men. Honor without obedience to the Most High is meaningless, family. Shechem wasn't honorable, he was wicked. And today, the world is full of people just like him. Stop following the false honor of this world, family, and start seeking the true honor that comes from walking in obedience to the Most High. So let's go to the next section here, 20 through 24 of Genesis 34. It's all being laid out, family. All being laid out. And Hamor and Shechem, his son, came unto the gate of their city and communed with the men of their city, saying, these men are peaceable with us. Therefore let them dwell in the land and trade therein. For the land, behold, it is large enough for them. Let us take their daughters to us for wives, and let us give them our daughters. Only herein would the men consent unto us for to dwell with us, to be one people, if every male among us be circumcised as they are circumcised. Shall not their cattle and their substance and every beast of theirs be ours? Only let us consent unto them, and they will dwell with us. And Hamor and unto Shechem, his son hearkened all that went out of the gate of his city. And every male was circumcised, all of that went out of the gate of his city. So now pay attention. Verse 20. So Hamor and Shechem leave their conversation with Jacob's sons and head straight to the gate of the city. Why? Because the gate is where all the business, decisions, and judgments of the city happen. This wasn't a casual conversation. They were holding a council, presenting their plan to the leaders and men of the city. Hamor and Shechem are about to sell the circumcision deal to their people, framing it as a trade-off for prosperity and unity with Jacob's family. This is how they operate, family. They gather together. They plot and scheme to ensure their survival, even if it means selling their own people out. Ain't that what they doing with their own women? Telling them to go marry Tyrone because they dying out. Their birth rate is dropping, so they're telling their women, they sell out some of them to go marry Tyrone so they can keep the bloodline going. Same thing, family. Same thing. Hamor and Shechem weren't acting out of righteousness here. They were acting out of greed and lust, as I told you before. They wanted to gain access to Jacob's wealth, to Israel's blessings, and they were willing to manipulate their own people to make it happen. This is the arrogance and deceit of your enemy, Israel. Psalm 2:1-2. Why do the heathen rage and the people imagine a vain thing? The kings of the earth set themselves, and the rulers take counsel together against the Lord and against his anointed, saying, you see this? The heathen are always conspiring against the people of the Most High. They want what we have, our covenant, our blessings, our inheritance. But they don't want to pay the price of obedience. Instead, they plot and they scheme, thinking they can gain access through deceit. But their plans are always in vain because the Most High is in control. No different than what we see today. The nations gather at their gates, their government institutions, their corporations and organizations, and make decisions that affect our lives without our consent. You got the G20 summit, Bilderberg, the UN, all these places that affect us without our consent. They promise unity and equality, but their true motives are rooted in greed and exploitation. They want Israel. They want what we have, but they don't want the responsibility of walking in righteousness. Hamor and Shechem's actions are a mirror of the systems we see today. Deceptive, manipulative, and self-servants. Micah 2:1. Woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it, because it is in their power of their hand. You see, these nations sit in their councils, plotting how to profit from us, how to exploit us, and how to assimilate us into their systems. But their wickedness will not go unpunished. Hamor and Shechem thought they were making a deal, but they were walking straight into the judgment of the Most High Yah. This is why I love how the Most High works. He give them the rope to hang themselves. All praises. 21 here. Look at the manipulation, family. Hamor and Shechem go back to their people and paint Jacob's family as peaceable. Do you see the lie in this? Jacob's sons weren't being peaceable. They were plotting revenge. But Hamor and Shechem didn't care about the truth. They cared about convincing their people to agree to the circumcision plan. And how do they do it? By appealing to greed and lust. They promise wealth, trade therein, and women, let us take their daughters. This is the mindset of the heathens. They always want to take what belongs to us. They don't see us as Israel. They don't see our people as equals. It's the truth, family. They see us as a resource to exploit. They want what we have. Blessings, talents, daughters. But they don't care about the covenant or the commandments of the Most High. This is what it is. How many times, family, have we seen the nations try to exploit us under the guise of unity or peace? They love to call us peaceable when it benefits them. But the moment we stand up for ourselves, they label us as aggressive or rebellious, like the Black Panthers. Look at how they exploit our talents in music, sports, entertainment, promising us wealth and fame while stripping us of our identity. Look at how they push for diversity and inclusion, but only when it benefits their systems. Just like Hamor and Shechem, their true motives are rooted in self-interest. Psalm 83, 3 and 4. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people and consulted against thy hidden ones. They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. Same thing that happened back then, they're doing it today. Nothing new under the sun. The nations don't want to unite with us. They want to erase us. They want to assimilate us into their systems, dilute our identity, and rob us of our inheritance. Don't fall for it, family. 22. Now the heathens are agreeing to the terms. They think that by going through with the circumcision, they can gain access to Jacob's family and blessing. But do you see the arrogance? Circumcision wasn't just a physical act, as I told y'all. It was a sign of the covenant between Israel and the Most High. These heathens thought they could mimic the covenant like these fake Jews over there today. They think they can mimic the covenant and gain the same benefits, but they were dead wrong. They didn't understand that the covenant isn't just about outward signs. It's about obedience, faith, and a relationship with the Most High. Something those fake Jews will never have because they are not his people. They can never be truly obedient because they don't have the heart to do it. They can never have the faith because that requires that same heart. They're just imposters, mimic puppets. That's all they are. Outward only. No inner. This is a warning. The nations will try to imitate us. Always try to imitate us. Ain't they doing it today? You got those damn Koreans out there getting locks and braids and all this stuff out there. Chemically treating their hair so they can make their hair look like ours. They always try to imitate us, but it can never truly be us, family. They want the rhythm without any of the blues. This is what it's saying. They can copy our customs, mimic our traditions, and claim to be a part of us. But they'll never truly belong because their hearts are uncircumcised. It's a twofold thing. Physical, spirit. They can do the physical all they want to, but they can never have the spirit part. They want our style, family, our culture, our wisdom, our blessings, but they don't want our God. Ain't that something? They want all our stuff, but we don't want your God, though. Nah, we good. We don't want to follow them commandments. We want to do it our own thing. They imitate our traditions, fake Jews, steal our inventions, and profit from our talents. But they refuse to walk in obedience to the Most High Yah. Circumcision without faith is meaningless, just like their shallow attempts to align themselves with Israel today. 23. Now the truth comes out right here. Hamor and Shechem weren't really interested in joining with Israel out of love, peace, or any sense of righteousness. Nope. Their motives were completely selfish. They saw Israel's wealth, cattle, substance, and beasts, and wanted to take it for themselves. This was never about Dinah or reconciliation. This was about greed. They thought that by agreeing to the circumcision, they could gain access to all of that. This is how the heathens operate. They plot to rob Israel of everything we have. Y'all got to wake up and see it for what it is. They've always wanted to have what belongs to us, but they don't want to follow the Most High to get it. They want to take shortcuts. Psalm 73 and 12. Behold, these are the ungodly who prosper in the world. They increase in riches. The heathens don't care about righteousness. They only care about material gain. They see our potential, our blessings, and our covenant, and they envy it. But they don't want to submit to the Most High. They just want to take what's ours. And this is the exact same spirit Hamor and Shechem were operating in. They wanted to take what Israel had without walking in obedience. They take the best of what we have, our ideas, our achievements, inventions, and claim them as their own. They set up systems to drain our communities of wealth while keeping us in poverty. And just like Hamor and Shechem, they try to frame it as a partnership, as if we're benefiting from this arrangement. Wake up, Israel. This is manipulation, plain and simple. Plain and simple. Micah 6:12. Look at the truth about the heathen. For the rich men thereof are full of violence, and the inhabitants thereof have spoken lies, and their tongue is deceitful in their mouth. You see, the systems of this world are built on deceit. Just like Hamor and Shechem's proposal. They promise this unity, but their true goal is to rob us of everything we have. Stop falling for the lies. The nations don't want to unite with us. They want to exploit us. 24. Look at this foolishness right here. The men of Shechem City actually agreed to this ridiculous plan. Every single one of them got circumcised because they believed Hamor and Shechem's lies about gaining wealth and uniting with Israel. Do you see how far greed and lust will take you, family? These men were willing to mutilate their own bodies just to gain access to our blessings. But what they didn't realize is that they were walking straight into their own destruction. All praises and great glory. This is how they operate in this blind arrogance, family. So focused on what they thought they could gain that they didn't even consider the consequences. This is what happens when you operate outside the will of the Most High. You set yourself up for what? Destruction. These men thought they was being clever, but they were fools, like Solomon says in Proverbs 14:12. There is a way which seemeth right unto a man, but the end thereof are the ways of death. These men in Shechem thought they was making the right move, smart move, but it was leading them straight to death. How many of us are falling for the same traps today, huh? The nations dangle promises of this wealth and success and acceptance in front of us, and we sell out everything. Culture, identity, obedience to the Most High, just to get a piece of what they're offering. But every time we chase after the world's promises, we walk straight in discussion. Straight into destruction. Sorry. Just like the men of Shechem. Hi, Diddy. R. Kelly. Hi. Hope y'all liking them prison cells. Hope y'all liking them prison cells. LeBron, you next. All you other ones who win the Diddy party, you're next. Don't worry. The Most High setting you up for the okadoke. Y'all be in handcuffs soon. Don't worry. Ain't it perfect timing that he's bringing in Trump right when this thing is blowing up? Oh. 4D chess, family. 4D chess. He gonna make this white man go after all them Israelites. He gonna open the case, man. Watch. We saw the year of truth last year. Now the judgment is coming this year. There's going to be a whole lot of these rich men going to jail. Watch for it. Stay glued to your news. Just wait. Patience. The truth was brought out last year. Now comes the judgment. Y'all ready for it? Y'all ready to see the power of the Most High, y'all? Stay glued to your television sets. Stay glued. Now we move to the next section, the section of judgment. Just like what's finna happen to this world. 25 through 29, we're going to read. And it came to pass on the third day, when they were sore, that two of the sons of Jacob, Simeon and Levi, Dinah's brethren, took each man his sword, and came upon the city boldly, and slew all the males. And they slew Hamor and Shechem, his son, with the edge of the sword, and took Dinah out of Shechem's house, and went out. The sons of Jacob came upon the slain, and spoiled the city, because they had defiled their sister. They took their sheep, and their oxen, and their asses, and that which was in the city, and that which was in the field, and all their wealth, and all their little ones, and their wives took they captive, and spoiled even all that was in the house. Verse 25, judgment. Simeon and Levi, the sons of Jacob, waited until the men of Shechem were at their weakest. On the third day after circumcision, there's that third day. Didn't Jesus rise on third day? He was in there 3 days, 3 nights. When the pain was unbearable and they struck, they did not negotiate. They didn't forgive. They executed righteous judgment for what had been done to their sister. And don't get it twisted. This wasn't murder, family. This was justice. Shechem violated Dinah, and the men of the city went along with the plan to cover it up. Every one of them was complicit. So every one of them had to die, had to pay. This is a reminder that the Most High is a God of justice. These heathens keep saying, oh, he's a God of love. He's a God of justice too. When wickedness is committed against Israel, there will be consequences, heathen. Simeon and Levi didn't just sit back and let Shechem get away with his crime. They took bold action to restore their family's honor and to send a message. You don't touch Israel without consequences. Deuteronomy 32:35. To me belongeth vengeance and recompense. Their foot shall slide in due time, for the day of their calamity is at hand. And the things that shall come upon them, make haste. You see that? The Most High will always bring vengeance upon those who harm his people, even of his own people. This goes to you too, Israelites. You harm your brother and sister, you got judgment on your ass too. Simeon and Levi were instruments of this vengeance, vessels of honor. And while some might question their methods like they do today, the fact remains, Shechem and his people brought this judgment upon themselves by defiling Dinah and plotting against our people. This is a lesson for the nations and for Israel. To the nations, don't think you can harm our people without facing judgment. The Most High sees everything, and there will be always consequences for your actions. And to his people, stop being passive in the face of injustice. Simeon and Levi didn't sit around waiting for Shechem to make it right. They knew that justice had to be served, and they acted boldly. Psalm 94:1-2. O Lord God, to whom vengeance belongeth. O God, to whom vengeance belongeth. Shew thyself, lift up thyself, thou judge of the earth. Render a reward to the proud. You see, the Most High is a God of vengeance, and his judgment is always righteous. The nations have spilled the blood of Israel for centuries, millennia. And their judgment is coming. And for us, family, we need to remember that our strength comes from him. When we walk in obedience, he will fight our battles and bring justice to our enemies. Verse 26, now justice has been served. Simeon and Levi took things all the way to the top. They didn't just kill the men of the city. They executed Hamor and Shechem themselves. Why? Because Hamor and Shechem were the source of this wickedness. Hamor enabled his son's actions, and Shechem was the one who defiled Dinah. Notice something important here. Dinah was still in Shechem's house. This means she was being held captive by the very man who violated her. Simeon and Levi didn't just kill, they liberated their sister from bondage. This verse is a reminder, family, that the Most High is a God of liberation and justice. Simeon and Levi didn't leave any loose ends. They cut down the oppressors, destroyed the source of wickedness, and rescued their sister from captivity. This is how we need to think today. No compromise with wickedness, no half measures when it comes to justice. Hamor and Shechem, just like these heathen, thought they could get away with their crime, but judgment came swiftly and decisively. As it says in Psalm 103 in verse 6, the Lord, I repeat, the Lord, one more time, the Lord executed righteousness and judgment for all that are oppressed. You see, the Most High executes judgment for the oppressed. Who's oppressed? Israel, black people. Dinah was oppressed, defiled, and held captive, just like us. But her brothers didn't leave her to suffer. They acted boldly and decisively to what? Bring her out of wickedness. And today, family, we need to do the same. Too many of our brothers and sisters trapped in systems of oppression, held captive by the wickedness of this world. It's time to rise up and fight for their liberation. Stop sitting on your fat ass and do something. Preach this word. Tell the truth to their people, our people. Wake their ass up. Do something. Look at our people. How many of our daughters, sons, and families are still being held captive by the systems of this world? Whether it's mass incarceration, human trafficking, broken homes, or spiritual bondage, our people are in the same position as Dinah. They've been violated and oppressed, and they're waiting for someone, anyone, to stand up and fight for them. Where are the Simeons and Levi's today? Who's willing to go to war to bring our people out of bondage? Isaiah 61:1 says, the Spirit of the Lord God is upon me, because the Lord hath anointed me to preach good tidings unto the meek. And he hath sent me to bind up the brokenhearted, to proclaim liberty to the captives, and the opening of the prison to them that are bound. That's Jesus. That's Yahushua. That's a prophecy about Yahushua. This is our mission, family, to proclaim liberty to the captives and to fight for justice for our people. Dinah was held in Shechem's house, but Simeon and Levi didn't hesitate to go in and get her out. And that's the same boldness we need today. Stop sitting back and waiting for someone else to act. It's time to rise up as a people and fight. 27. Now the whole family gets involved. After Simeon and Levi executed Hamor and Shechem and the men of the city, the rest of Jacob's sons came in and looted the city. Why? Because the city was guilty. The entire city had gone along with Hamor and Shechem's wicked plan. They didn't speak out against the violation of Dinah. They were complicit in their silence and support, like these heathen are today. They know their people are wicked as hell, but they don't speak up about it because they scared. They don't speak up about it because it benefit them. Just like the slavery and the captivity of our people today, it benefit them. So why they gonna speak out against this system that exploits us? Because it benefits them. They get to get their big old houses and nice cars and corporations and whatever. Slave labor. Why bite the hand that feeds you? That makes them guilty. So Jacob's sons took everything. Justice was served. Restitution was made. This is about the consequences of sin. Shechem's sin didn't just affect him. It destroyed the whole city. Why? Because the people of that city went along with his wickedness. When you align yourself with sin, family, you align yourself with destruction. And when it comes to Israel, the Most High takes our mistreatment very seriously. The defilement of Dinah wasn't just a personal offense. It was an offense against the Most High and his chosen people. Proverbs 11:19. As righteousness tended to life, so he that pursueth evil pursueth it to his own death. You see, when you pursue evil, family, whether actively or by aligning yourself with the wicked, you're pursuing death. Shechem City thought they could profit from Israel, but their alignment with wickedness led to their own destruction. The Most High is not mocked, family. When the nations rise up against us, their downfall is inevitable. Just like today. Still happening today. Look at the systems and nations that oppress Israel. They build their wealth off our backs, thinking they'll prosper and forever. But history shows us the truth. Every empire, every nation, and every system that rises up against the children of Israel falls. Egypt fell. Babylon fell. Medo-Persia fell. Greece fell. Rome fell. Physical Rome fell. Now we got spiritual Rome with the church. That's still here. And today, the nations that exploit and oppress us through that system are on the same path. The judgment of the Most High is coming, and there's no escaping it. Isaiah 14, 1 and 2, my favorite verse. One of my favorite verses. For the Lord will have mercy on Jacob. That's you black people. And will yet choose Israel and set them in their own land. And the strangers shall be joined with them. That's the other nations. And they shall cleave to the house of Jacob. Because they're going to see our blessings. They're going to cleave. And the people shall take them, that's us, and bring them to their place. And the house of Israel, that's us, shall possess them, that's other nations. In the land of the Lord, for what? Slaves, servants and handmaids. Slaves, family. Let's take out the sugarcoating. We're going to enslave them. Just like they made slaves of us, we're going to make slaves of them. But ours is going to be a righteous slavery. And they shall take them captives, whose captives they were, and they shall rule over their oppressors. You see, the Christians never touch this verse. They never touch this verse because they know what it means. That's why they stay out of the Old Testament. They stay out of the Old Testament because they know it ain't about them. They see that judgment on them. They will not touch this verse, family. You see, the nations that oppress us today will be our captives tomorrow. Just like Shechem City fell under the judgment of Jacob's sons, the nations that exploit and oppress us today are heading for destruction. Stop fearing the nations of Israel. Their judgment is already written. Verse 28. Here's the full picture of what happened. Jacob's son didn't just kill them in Shechem. They stripped the city of its wealth. They took the sheep, the oxen, the asses, and everything else. Why? Because this was restitution. Shechem took Dinah, defiled her, and violated the sanctity of Israel. So Jacob's sons took everything in return. This wasn't theft. It was repayment for the crime committed against their family. Understand that. This is a reminder that judgment includes restitutions, aka reparations. We're going to get our reparations, family. Stop begging these heathen for it. The Most High going to get us our reparations. Trust me on that. When the nations rise up against us, or against Israel, they don't just lose. They have to pay back everything they've taken. The men of Shechem thought they could take Dinah without consequence. But they ended up losing everything. And today, the nations that oppress Israel think they can exploit us forever. But their day of reckoning is coming. Solomon tells us again in Proverbs 13 and 22. The wealth of the sinner is laid up for the just. That's you, remnant of Israel. They're making all this money hand over fist. Bezos, Bill Gates, Rothschilds, Carnegies, Rockefellers, Elon Musk. All of them. They making all this money so they can give it to you. Oh, the Most High got a dark sense of humor. I love it. They're making all this money to give it to you. Oh, praise it to the Most High. The wealth of the wicked will always come back to the righteous family. Shechem City tried to gain Israel's wealth by deceit, but in the end, Israel took everything they had. And this is a prophecy for us today. The nations that have robbed us, enslaved us, and exploited us will have to pay it all back. Look at the nations that have built their wealth on the backs of our people. From slavery to colonialism, to modern day exploitation. They have taken everything from us. Our resources, our culture, and even our identity. But the Most High promises that restitution, reparations is coming. The wealth of the wicked will be returned to Israel, just as it was in the days of Jacob's sons. I point to you Isaiah 60 and 5. Then thou shalt see and flow together, and thine heart shall fear, and be enlarged, because the abundance of the sea shall be converted unto thee, the forces of the Gentiles. These Gentiles are the other nations. Remember, two sets of Gentiles. One is our people, and the other one is the other nations. You got to see the context. The forces of the Gentiles shall come unto thee. You see, the wealth of the nations is coming back to Israel. Just as Jacob's sons took everything from Shechem City, the Most High will strip the nations of their wealth and restore it to his chosen people. Don't lose hope, family. The judgment is coming, and restitution, reparations is guaranteed. Keep the faith. Stay on the path. Don't lose hope. 29. Now look at this. Jacob's sons didn't just take back the livestock and spoil the fields. They completely stripped the city of everything. They took the wealth, the families, and even the wives and children of Shechem City. This was total recompense. The men of Shechem defiled Israel, so Israel returned the judgment in full. This wasn't just revenge. It was a statement. You don't mess with Israel and think you'll walk away untouched. This verse paints a picture of complete and total justice. The sons of Jacob ensured that everything connected to Shechem's wickedness was dismantled and taken under Israel's control. They made it clear that there are consequences for going against the chosen people of the Most High. And this is a pattern we see throughout the scriptures. When the nations rise against Israel, they not only face judgment, but they lose everything they have. Jeremiah 30:16. Therefore all they that devour thee shall be devoured, and all thine adversaries, every one of them, shall go into captivity. And they that spoil thee shall be a spoil, and all they that prey upon thee will I give for a prey. The Most High promises that those who oppress Israel, that's you black people, will face the same fate. Shechem devoured Dinah, and in return, Jacob's sons devoured Shechem's entire city. Woo, child. Pac-Man that shit. Pac-Man'd it. They took their wealth, their families, and their possessions. That's divine justice. And family, you need to understand this. The Most High will always repay the nations for the way they've treated you. Their wealth, their power, and their systems will all fail. No matter what it looks like right now, oh yeah, they look powerful and everything, it's going to fail. Keep that in your heart. It's going to fail. No matter what arrogant talks and speeches and press conferences, they talk about record profits, it's going to fail. No different than what's happening today. They robbed us of everything. Our land, our culture, resources, and they think they'll get away with it. But the Most High promises that everything they've taken will be returned to us. Just as Jacob's sons stripped Shechem City of all its wealth, the nations that have exploited us will one day lose everything they've built. The tables will turn, family. Why were the women and children taken? Some might wonder why Jacob's sons took the women and children captive. Let me explain to you. This was about control and survival. The women and children of Shechem City were a part of a system that allowed this wickedness to thrive. By taking them captives, Jacob's sons ensured that the city would never rise again to harm Israel. This wasn't just about revenge. It was about securing the safety of their family and their nation. Deuteronomy 20:13-14. And when the Lord thy God hath delivered it into thine hands, thou shalt smite every male thereof with the edge of the sword. But the women and the little ones and the cattle and all that is in the city, even all the spoil thereof, shalt thou take unto thyself. And thou shalt eat the spoil of thine enemies, which the Lord thy God hath given thee. You see, the Most High himself commanded Israel to take the women, children, and spoil of conquered cities. Why? Because this is about survival and justice. The wickedness of Shechem couldn't be allowed to continue, and taking control of their city ensured that their sin would not spread. The Most High cut it off completely. No coming back. Gone from the history books. This might seem harsh to some of you, but it's no different from the systems of today. When the nations oppress us, they don't just attack us. They come after our families, our communities, and our heritage. And when the Most High brings judgment on these nations, their entire systems will be dismantled. Their power structures, their families, and their wealth will all fall under the dominion of who? Israel. Revelation 13:10. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here is the patience and faith of the saints. That's you, remnant. You see, the nations that have led Israel into captivity will themselves go into captivity. Just as Jacob's sons took control of Shechem City, Israel will one day take control of the nations that have oppressed us. This is justice, family. This is the promise of the Most High. And let's finish it with 30 and 31. Genesis 34. And Jacob said to Simeon and Levi, ye have troubled me to make me stink among the inhabitants of the land, among the Canaanites and the Perizzites. And I being few in number, they shall gather themselves together against me and slay me, and I shall be destroyed, I and my house. And they said, should he deal with our sister as with an harlot? Verse 30 here. Now Jacob steps in and rebukes Simeon and Levi. He's worried that their actions will bring retaliation from the surrounding nations. Jacob was a man of faith, but here we see his humanity. He's afraid of what might happen because of his son's boldness. But let me ask you something, Israel. Do you think the Most High would have let Jacob's house fall after they executed justice? Absolutely not. Jacob's fear was understandable, but it wasn't justified. The Most High had already promised to protect Jacob and his descendants. Simeon and Levi acted boldly, and while Jacob was concerned about the consequences, the truth is that the Most High always fights for his people when they are walking in righteousness. The fear of man should never, I repeat, never override your trust in the Most High. Never, ever, 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 ever. Never override your trust in the Most High. Isaiah 41:10. Fear thou not, for I am with thee. Be not dismayed, for I am thy God. I will strengthen thee. Yea, I will help thee. Yea, I will uphold thee with the right hand of my righteousness. You see, Jacob didn't have to fear because the Most High had his back. The Most High guarantees his protection over our people. Jacob was worried about retaliation, but the truth is that the nations wouldn't have been able to touch him. The sons of Jacob acted boldly, and the Most High would have defended them because they were defending the honor of Israel. How many of us today are afraid to stand up for our people because we fear retaliation? You're afraid to speak the truth, like I do. Afraid to fight for justice because you think the nations will come after you. But let me remind you, the Most High is your defense. When you stand for righteousness, he will fight for you. Psalm 27:1. The Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear? Whom shall I fear? Whom shall I fear? The Lord is the strength of life. Of whom shall I be afraid? Of whom shall I be afraid? Of whom shall I be afraid? You see, the nations might hate you. They might plot against you, but they can't touch you unless the Most High allows it. Don't let fear stop you from standing up for your people, Israel, and walking in boldness. Simeon and Levi weren't afraid to act, and neither should you be. Verse 31. Now here's the final word. Simeon and Levi respond to Jacob's concern with a simple but powerful statement. Should he deal with our sister as with a harlot? What does this mean, Israel? They're saying that Shechem's crime couldn't be ignored. He treated Dinah like a commodity, like a prostitute, like she was less than human, and they weren't going to let that stand. This wasn't just about Dinah. This was about integrity and dignity and honor of Israel as a nation. This is about protecting the sanctity, the pureness of our people. Simeon and Levi understood that letting Shechem's crime go unpunished would send a message that Israel could be disrespected and violated without consequences. They refused to let that happen. And today, Israel, we need to have that same mindset. Stop letting these nations treat you like you nothing. Like you're a harlot to be used and discarded like trash. Stand up for your dignity and honor as the chosen people of the Most High. Zechariah 2:8. For thus saith the Lord of hosts, after the glory hath he sent me unto the nations, which spoiled you. For he that toucheth you, you toucheth the apple of his eye. You see, whoever touches Israel, that's you black people, is touching the apple of the Most High's eye. Simeon and Levi understood this, and they acted accordingly. And today, we need to reclaim that same boldness and refuse to let the nations treat us as less than what we are, a holy, chosen people. Family, Genesis 34 is a powerful chapter about justice, about boldness, and the sanctity of our people. The actions of Simeon and Levi remind us that we are not to be violated. We are not to be exploited or disrespected without consequences. The nations that rise against us will face judgment, just as Shechem in his city did. Stand up, Israel. Know your worth. Walk in boldness and trust in the Most High to execute justice on your behalf. And with that, I end my sermon. All praises and great glory to the Most High Yah for giving me the spirit and the wisdom and the knowledge and the understanding to preach this word to you today. I pray you guys were spiritually edified. Next week, y'all willing, we're going to be doing Genesis 35. Another good chapter. I pray you guys have a good rest of your Sabbath. I pray you had a good Sabbath. You got some rest. Got in this word. I pray you guys have a good rest of your week. And with that, I'll leave you with another new song. Modern Day Babylon, family. Listen to the words. This is the system that we are in today. And with that, I say shalom, family. Love you.
Social media addiction, new digital currency. System designed to keep our minds confined, scrolling through feeds while our spirits decline. Digital chains, they ain't even trying to hide. Modern day Babylon, taking us for a ride. Credit score slavery, that's how they own ya. Social media, watching digital cloner. GMO food got the people in comas, while they push propaganda through media personas. Banking system got us trapped in the matrix. Student loans got our children enslaved quick. They print money while our wealth depreciate. Modern day Egypt, how long we gon' take it? Modern day Babylon, modern day, same system, different face on, keeping us distracted while they prey on everything our ancestors laid down. Modern day Babylon, we see it. Digital chains, they got us locked in, but we waking up, can't stop it. Truth coming out, they can't block it.
Sisters hypnotized by the social feed, chasing likes while our spirits bleed. Modified food got our children weak, while they push standards we can't meet. Television programming literal meaning, controlling minds while we think we streaming. Beauty standards got our daughters scheming, while the real queens can't find their meaning. But the awakening happening right now. Sisters learning truth, they showing us how. Coming back to our ancient vows, while Babylon system taking a bow.
Same Babylon, same system, different generation, different face. Mind control, mass manipulation. Wake up, media lies, truth dies, but we rise despite their devices. Cryptocurrency, just digital chains. Surveillance cameras watching our ways. 5G towers while the people praise. Technology keeping us in a daze. But we seeing through the modern day smoke. Ancient wisdom helping us to cope. Breaking free from these invisible yokes while Babylon systems starting to choke.
Cryptocurrency, just digital chains. Surveillance cameras watching our ways. 5G towers while the people praise. Technology keeping us in a daze. But we seeing through the modern day smoke. Ancient wisdom helping us to cope. Breaking free from these invisible yokes while Babylon systems starting to choke.
Modern day Babylon. Same system, different face on. Keeping us distracted while they prey on everything our ancestors laid down. Modern day Babylon. We see digital chains, they got us locked in. But we waking up, can't stop it. Truth coming out, they can't block it. But come out of her, my people. That you be not watching, just a play. Okay, we be not partakers of her plagues.